in this video I will be talking about chapter 1 content mastery video. And so these are my notes that I'll be reading off of. And then I will be reading off of my computer the questions that I have to be answering. I will not be looking up anything in my computer. I will just be reading off the questions. Alright, so first is explain your thoughts on what a supervisor's role is in an organization. Okay, so I think what my thoughts are in a supervisor's role is to have a positive mindset, to have a lot of information about the organization, and to have good communication skills and be able to control your emotions, just things like that. Because if you are somebody who can't control your emotions, if you are someone who doesn't have a lot of information, it kind of puts a bad look on you. And being a supervisor, you want to show that you are a good leader. You don't want to put your employees down or your employers down. You don't want to put anybody down. Because if you do, it creates a bad working environment. And nobody wants to be working in an environment where they feel unmotivated, where they feel like they can't talk about something, where they feel shut down about something. When you are a supervisor, you want to have a good reputation on yourself. You want to be able to understand what others are asking. You want to be able to be helpful. You want to be able to just be a good leader in general. And honestly, I think a supervisor's role is to just be a very positive person, to show you have a positive mindset, always show up to work, never skip work. Well, when you need to take days off because you have a vacation or something, that is fine, but you don't want to always call out of work. You want to be consistent with who you are as a person. You don't want to show others that you can't, I'm gonna roll down the window, it's a little hot in here. You want to show others that you can be reliable, and if you are somebody who isn't reliable, kind of makes people wonder, like, why are you supervisor? Why, you're not a very good leader, you're not setting a good role for us. And so being a good leader is having good communication skills, having a lot of knowledge and information about the job or the organization that you are working for when somebody has a question, being able to control your emotions, have a positive mindset, things like that. You just want to be positive in general. And then next I'm going to talk about the 4 schools of management thoughts. Okay, so the 4 schools of management thoughts is scientific management approach, functional approach, human relations / behavioral approach, quantitative, and systems approaches. Alright, so first I'm going to talk about the scientific management approach. And so, wait, hold on. Explain the 4 school, how is it? Okay. Okay, so the first one is scientific management approach. And this is the school of management thought that focuses on determining the most efficient ways to increase output and productivity. And so there are Taylor's principles of scientific management. And so the first one is analyze the tasks associated with each job, use the principles of science to find the one best way to perform the work. And then the second one is recruit the employee best suited to perform the job that chooses the person who has the skills, aptitude, and other attributes to the job. And then next is instruct the worker in the one best way to perform the job. And then the fourth one is reward the accomplishment of the worker. And Taylor believed that workers are economically motivated and would therefore do the job the way they were instructed if rewarded with money. And then the fifth task is cooperate with workers to ensure that the job matches and principles. And then the sixth one is ensure that an equal division of work and responsibility between managers and workers. And then next I'm going to talk about functional approach, and this is the school of management thought that asserts that all managers perform various functions in doing their jobs, such as planning, organizing, staffing, leading, and controlling. And so there are 5 principles of management in this that Henry Froyle has, and it is planning, organizing, commanding, coordinating, and controlling. And then next I'm going to talk about the humans relationships, or the relations and behavioral approach. And it focuses on the behavior of people in the work environment. And managers uses these principles of scientific management where it will be able to help increase the productivity and the motivation for their employees. And so first I'm going to go back and talk about the scientific management approach. And so this is just this is the basic on learning what technology you need for your organization, what is best for your organization, what information you need, and what will create the best productivity and output that will help your company grow. And then next I'm going to talk about functional approach, and this is like being able to show that your workers are able to function in the organization, like the jobs, and being able to show that the plans that they form will be able to function throughout the organization and succeed, and being able to be organized and have correct staffing, just things like that. And then human relations and behavioral approach is being able to have people and workers who can control their emotions and are able to just be positive in the working environment, because if you are negative, it's not a good look on you, obviously. And then next I'm going to talk about quantitative/systems approach, and this is the field of management study that uses mathematical modeling as a foundation. And so management relies heavily on mathematical modeling, often closely connected with system approaches. And so this is every organization, and actually you use math in your everyday life. And so being able to have quantitative/systems approach, it's able to help your organization understand what models they need, and like being able to do the math, being able to figure out what correct amount they need for their products, stuff like that. And then it also is to attempt to quantitatively describe the interrelationships of variables throughout data. Data can be manipulated and outcomes predicted. So people who in the organization that control the booking and stuff like that, this is a big system for them, and being able to understand the math, the numbers, and control the data and create the correct data sheets and stuff like that for an organization. And then so those are all the four. Sorry, I forgot to practice this part, but these are all the four approaches. And then next I'm supposed to discuss some of the, how viable is each in the real world environment. So these are all viable in the real world environment, because we all know that having the knowledge about the certain technology you need for your organization, or the certain technology you need in your everyday life, like a computer or a phone or something, that is something that is very valuable to us, and we need to have the knowledge for those things in order to continue on with our lives, or just have the organization just function. And then functional approach, this is a big thing in an everyday life, because if you are able to function correctly, and if you are able to have a positive mindset around others, it creates others to be having a positive mindset. Or wait, that's the wrong one. This one, okay, so functional approach, it's able to get an understanding that everybody's doing their job. And so, like, let's say I work on a farm, so my job is to do my chores and to clean things and help my dad out, train horses, stuff like that. So functional approach is to see if you are able to do your job correctly, if you are following through your tasks and stuff like that. And that's a big thing in reality, because everybody has to have a functional approach in schooling, and cleaning their house, and organizing, planning, everything like that. And then also human relations and behavioral approach. And so this is a big thing to have, because when you are out in your everyday life, being able to control your emotions and have a positive mindset around others, it creates a good like energy around others, and when you are negative, it's not very fun to be around you, and it kind of creates you to be like, ooh, kind of in a bad mood now, and just things like that. And then also quantitative / system approaches. So math, everybody deals with math, like I said, in every day of their lives. So having these approaches where you can watch numbers, control data, and things like that, that is very viable to our everyday lives. And so then what is the reality of these perspectives in the changing business environment? So the reality of these is they change constantly every year or months or anything like that. Data sheets every month, the money that you make, it's different every month. You may have less money than you made the last month, or you may have more money. Data sheets always change. Numbers always change. And with technology, AI is a big thing that has come out, and it can be either good or bad, obviously, and technology is just advancing every day, all the time. And the organizations and the environment have to adapt to these and understand the changing so that their organization can stay up to date with everything else. And then also behaviors. There's different ages coming into the organization. There's 16-year-olds or 18-year-olds and 50-year-olds. You have to understand the different behaviors of each person and have to understand the knowledge that each person has. And as a supervisor, you have to be able to control your emotions and understand where they're coming at, because everybody thinks differently. Everybody has different information and different knowledge about the certain organization they're in. And then another one is the functional approach. This also changes because you lose different staff members and you may have new jobs added into the organization. So it just changes constantly when you need a new person. And then next, I'm going to talk about what is the key to develop a strong culture in an organization between management and employees and their peers. And so what is the key to developing a strong culture in an organization? I believe to creating a strong culture in an organization is having a good relationship with everyone and having a positive working environment and being able to complete your goals, complete every task that you have, and just being able to live up to the expectations that you have. And so developing these strong cultures, you also want the good background history of what happened and being able to train all of your employees in the correct way and just understanding the whole basics. And so my video ended because I ran out of storage. I don't know why that keeps happening. It happened in my management videos too. But so what I was talking about is having a strong culture. You also have a strong relationship with your employees when you're a supervisor, and just in general with everybody in your organization. Being able to have a strong relationship just creates everybody to come closer together and just talk about things better and just getting to know everybody. And the next question is, what role does communication play in this? So having a strong culture, it creates everybody to be comfortable with talking to everyone about a certain plan or a goal that they are forming. Also, communication is a big role in this, because when you don't have communication, when your culture is falling apart, nobody really wants to express their opinions, their thoughts about something that is happening. They have the feeling that they just think it's not worth it to talk about whatever is on their mind. So that's also a big thing. So communication, when you are communicating about goals and problems, when you have meetings and you want to express what you are thinking that should be the best solution, it helps the culture become stronger. And when there's no communication, the organization kind of falls apart and everybody is on different pages. So that is everything I have to talk about today. Thanks for listening.